The Dallas Mavericks walk into the Staples Center and steal home court advantage and the momentum by getting a 10-point win over Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and the Los Angeles Clippers. This is the Gray Area right here on Kevin Gray Sports. My name is Kevin Gray. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. And you can catch me on your home of the Dallas Cowboys and Texas Rangers, 105.3 The Fan. The Dallas Mavericks walk into the Staples Center and use a massive fourth quarter from Dorian Finney-Smith to help the Mavericks get their first Game 1 win in a playoff series since 2011. Dorian Finney-Smith had 18 points on 7 of 9, shooting 4 of 5 from downtown, as he was absolutely special, helping the Mavericks go on a 13-3 run in the final 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the fourth quarter to steal the home court advantage against the Los Angeles Clippers. Dorian Finney-Smith got that 13-3 run started by hitting a three-pointer with 2:50 left to give the Mavericks a 103-100 lead, and they did not look back from there. This is despite the fact that Luka Doncic only had 1 point in the fourth quarter, but he was absolutely special with his third career playoff triple-double. He had 31 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists. He missed his first three three-pointers of the game, made his next 5, and absolutely took a blowtorch to the switch game of Ivica Zubac and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Dallas Mavericks now move to 28-0 this season when leading after the first quarter, as they did in this game against the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers only went 11 of 40 from downtown. Remember, the Clippers are the number one three-point shooting team in all of the NBA. They were held to just 27.5% from three in this game, where the Dallas Mavericks shot 50% from the field themselves in this 113-103 win. The Mavericks had 5 guys in double figures, including Dorian Finney-Smith, who had 18, Kristaps Porzingis, who we'll get to here in a little bit. He had 14 points. Luka Doncic, as we mentioned, the 31 points. Tim Hardaway Jr., who we said needed to be an X factor in this series, was absolutely terrific. 8 of 13 from the field, 5 of 9 from downtown. He had 21 points. And Jalen Brunson, who was terrific in the fourth quarter with the closing play that he had 15 points in this game. But this game was obviously about the fun that Luka Doncic had in this particular basketball game. I asked Luka after the game, hey, Luka, how much fun was it for you in this competitive atmosphere in the Staples Center with fans to put on the show that you did? Here's what Luka Doncic had to say. Luka, you said post-game you were reminded how much fun it is to play in the playoffs. In a win like this, how much fun did you have out there playing in that competitive atmosphere with the Clippers tonight?
Oh, it was great. Like I said, playoffs are fun, especially they're more fun if you win, obviously. But it's a fun basketball. I think it's fun for the fans to watch it, and that's it.
So Luka Doncic said, look, playoff basketball is fun. And it's more fun when you're winning games. And in this game, the Dallas Mavericks were able to have a lot of fun because for some reason, the Los Angeles Clippers decided to stick your man Patrick Beverley on Luka Doncic in the first quarter, where Doncic absolutely cooked him for 12 points, got him into early foul trouble, and it was off to the races from there. Then for some reason, your man Ty Lue, the head coach of the Los Angeles Clippers, said, hey, let's try switching this stuff on Doncic, and we'll get Ivica Zubac out there on switches against Luka Doncic. Doncic said, okay, I'm going to punish you from the three-point line with step-back threes. I'm going to get in the lane and hit one-legged Dirk fadeaways on you, and I'm going to make you pay for switching a big guy out on me time and time again. And that's exactly what Luka Doncic did. He was absolutely tremendous, reading the defenses and the junk coverages that they were trying to throw at him. And then as you got later into the game, when the Clippers finally realized that Doncic was going to continue to kill them all night long, they started sending double teams at him. That is when your man Dorian Finney-Smith said, oh, now it's my time to shine, and that's exactly what he did. The amount of hustle plays that he made, getting his hands in the passing lanes, but more importantly, the confidence and the aggressiveness to look for his own shot, especially from the three-point line, continues to be evident for Dorian Finney-Smith. As I mentioned, 4 or 5 from the three-point line in this game, hit the go-ahead 3 with 2:50 left in the fourth quarter to give the Mavericks a 103-100 lead that they would not relinquish from there. Your man Paul George tried to turn up in the fourth quarter after struggling in the first 3 quarters of this game. He wound up finishing with 23 points, but it didn't matter. Dorian Finney-Smith helped this Mavericks team do what he's done all season long, and that's be terrific in clutch moments and have the poise and the confidence to knock down shots, especially when Luka Doncic is being double-teamed. I asked Dorian Finney-Smith, hey, Dorian, look, you've hit more clutch shots and three-pointers than any other Maverick on this team. What has made you so good and able to thrive in these moments this year in particular? Here's what your man Dorian Finney-Smith had to say.
Hey, Dorian, you've made more clutch threes than any other player on this Mavericks team and had a chance to show it off tonight against the Clippers. What has made you so effective in these moments and with your confidence and poise in big game situations like this now?
I just know, again, they're gonna send two guys at Luka, and you just gotta be ready to shoot. Most times in the game, people trying to get the ball out of LD hands. I just know us four got to be ready to shoot.
It's simple. He knows that Luka Doncic is going to get doubled, and there's going to be opportunities for him, Tim Hardaway Jr., and others to have open, knockdown three-point attempts, and that's exactly what they were able to take advantage of in this particular game. So you give credit to the Dallas Mavericks role players who we said coming into this series, specifically Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, and others, they are going to have to be special in this series to give Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis the kind of support that they need in order to deal with this deep and talented Clippers lineup. But here's another thing. The Mavericks proved once again that they are not afraid of the Clippers and are able to walk into their building as they did earlier in this year with a 51-point beatdown and beat the Clippers at their own game by hitting knockdown three-pointers. That's exactly what the Mavericks did in this game. Kristaps Porzingis did struggle in this game. He went 4 of 13 from the field and had to be patient in this game. He did knock down his first couple of shots, a two-pointer and a three-pointer, to get his scoring started early on in the first quarter, but struggled after that at one point, missing 8 shots in a row and could not find the stroke. But he did help the team down the stretch with a couple of big free throws to help seal things in the end. But at the same time, there is going to be guys like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard defending guys like Kristaps Porzingis in this series. So it's going to be incumbent on Porzingis to be patient to ensure that he is remaining steadfast in the flow of the game. He did in this game be a plus 13 with respect to how he played on both ends of the floor. Here is Kristaps Porzingis talking about that very patience that he had to exercise in this game, knowing the kind of tough defense that the Clippers were going to be throwing at him. Here's what Kristaps Porzingis had to say.
Yeah, as you said, patience is a big thing, and I get frustrated to feel like, I'm out of the offense and just do what's best for the team. So we're gonna adjust, next game, I think. And that's it, that was a great team win.
So Kristaps Porzingis says, look, we'll have to adjust going into Game 2 on Tuesday to ensure that the Clippers aren't doing the kinds of things against him defensively that will make things tough for him. And obviously for Rick Carlisle, knowing how involved Kristaps Porzingis needs to be as far as the offense is concerned will be an adjustment that he will continue to make as this series goes on. But you give credit to Porzingis for staying in it and locked in on both ends of the floor to be able to do some of the things that he's capable of in this game. He had a block shot in this game to try and help out on the defensive end. But more importantly, he's got to be better offensively, and he knows that. And more importantly, Rick Carlisle and this Mavericks team knows that he's got to be vital in terms of what he does in this series from an offensive standpoint to give the Mavericks the opportunity to complete this upset. Tim Hardaway Jr., though, is an X factor in this series, and he was absolutely spectacular. 8 of 13 from the field, 5 of 9 from the three-point line. He had 21 points. He continues to be that third scorer that the Mavericks need to be able to give them confidence about walking into the building of the Staples Center and beating a Los Angeles Clippers team that saw guys like Patrick Beverley and others try to steal momentum in this game. But every time there was a dunk by Kawhi Leonard who nearly ended Maxi Kleber in the third quarter, or whether the Clippers made a run, the Mavericks had an answer, and Tim Hardaway Jr. was part of that solution in that answer in game number 1. I asked Tim Hardaway after the game, how important was it for you and this Mavericks team to steal the momentum in this series and home court advantage as you look forward now to try to get greedy for game number 2? Here's what Tim Hardaway Jr. had to say.
Hey, Tim, Kevin Gray of 105 through the Fan, Dallas, Texas. 21 points tonight. How important was it to steal the momentum and the home court advantage in this series, given how tough this Clippers team by what you guys did tonight?
I think, just battling with the guys, making sure that we knew they were going to make their run at some point in the game, probably for a couple of stretches, but just had to make sure we weathered the storm and made sure that once we got stops, capitalized. And we did that at the end of the fourth, and they started to double Luka, so we just tried to do a great job. The other guys that was on the floor to be aggressive when that happens and try to find the open man.
So you heard Tim Hardaway there say, look, we took advantage of some runs that we were able to make. We knew that the Clippers were going to make their runs and battle back and stay in it in this game. And we weathered the storm, and we were able to put ourselves in position when we got late into the fourth quarter to capitalize on the momentum that they had. And that they did as far as the Mavericks were concerned. The Mavericks in the first half shot 51% from the field, 48% from the three-point line, made 10 threes. Josh Richardson was especially good in the second quarter. Also, he went 2 of 2 from the three-point line with 6 points. Kleba got into early foul trouble as he made his return to the starting lineup. He had 3 fouls in the first half, but you could tell that he was battling all night long to become the kind of help that he needed defensively to be for the Los Angeles Clippers, and especially on them offensively. The Clippers were just 4 of 18 from the three-point line in the first half, and we talked about this. One of the things that the Mavericks were going to have to do in this series was defend the three-point line, and they did exactly that against the number one three-point shooting team in all of the NBA. You held Ivica Zubac to just 8 points. He only had 3 rebounds. We know that's one of the keys in this series is to keep Ivica Zubac off the glass and to ensure that they are doing what they need to do from a offensive glass and a rebounding standpoint to handle their business. This is a team also in the Mavericks that out-rebounded the Los Angeles Clippers in this game, which is also important. They out-rebounded them 42-39 in this game. So all the things that the Mavericks needed to do, keeping Zubac off the glass, defending the three-point line, they were able to do so in this game to give them an opportunity to stay in it down the stretch. But as we mentioned, Luka Doncic was absolutely special in this game. The amount of three-point step-back shots that he hit, the creativity in the lane, the willingness to pass out of double teams and to find the wide-open men, he was absolutely special. Jalen Brunson helped out in the fourth quarter where he had 9 fourth-quarter points and really helped carry the Mavericks in the end, as I mentioned, going on a 13-3 run in the final 2 minutes and 50 seconds to be able to steal Game 1 on the road. So now as you look forward to Game number 2, the Mavericks need to get greedy here and try to put themselves in a position where you've already did what you've needed to do in handling your business on the road against the Los Angeles Clippers and stealing one of these games and splitting this series in the Staples Center if that's exactly what you do in Game number 2 if you happen to lose. But now, if you're the Mavericks, you're playing with house money. You're playing with all the confidence in the world because the lemon booty got to the Los Angeles Clippers late in this game. And once again, the Clippers folded like a cheap tent when it mattered most. And that should give you confidence if you're a Mavericks bunch that if you play your game, hit the three-point shot the way that you did in this game, shooting 47% from the three-point line, 50% overall from the field, and you defend the way that you did by winning every single quarter, only holding this team to 103 points, you've got yourself a decent shot in this series to potentially come out here with an upset. But you cannot rest on your laurels if you're the Dallas Mavericks, knowing what you were able to do in Game number 1. If you were able to come out with the same kind of defensive intensity that you did in this game, in Game number 1 against the Los Angeles Clippers, where you held them to 2 25-point quarters in the second and the third quarter and just a 23-point fourth quarter, you're going to give yourself a lot of opportunities to win ball games because offensively, this team is going to continue to play well, especially once Kristaps Porzingis gets on track. But you've got a total team effort from a lot of guys in this game to walk out with a 113-103 win over the Los Angeles Clippers. The Dallas Mavericks walk into Staples Center, steal home court advantage, and are able to get themselves a 1-0 series lead over Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and the Los Angeles Clippers. Game 2 will be on Tuesday night inside the Staples Center at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. Can the Mavericks make it a 2-0 series lead behind some more Luka magic and get themselves back to Dallas with an opportunity to be up 2-0 on Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and the Los Angeles Clippers. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. This has been another episode of The Gray Area. We'll talk to you later. Peace.